The Blacker Bombard, better known today as the Spigot Mortar. Introduced in the latter half of 1941 as an anti-tank weapon system and often overlooked as an anti-personnel weapon, it was issued extensively across the UK for use within anti-invasion defence networks of nodal points and anti-tank islands, as well as being issued for coastal and airfield defence. Designed by Lieutenant Colonel Latham Valentine Stuart Blacker, who designed the Baby Bombard, which is better known as the Piat, the Blacker Bombard was likely introduced as a cheap weapon system that was easy to produce but capable of taking on newer German tank types that were being fielded in late 1941, and which may comprise an invading force if the balloon went up in 1942. But was it only issued to the Home Guard, the force that is now synonymous with? The short answer is no. These records from the National Archives in Kew show that the Bombard was also issued extensively to the regular and territorial army, the frontline fighting units of the home forces responsible for defending the UK. Following testing in April 1941, it was agreed that the Bombard would be issued to the Home Guard and the Field Force. That's the regulars, territorials, Commonwealth forces and free forces that made up the home forces. And this was to be issued in lieu of the 2-pounder anti-tank gun, many of which had been lost during the fighting in France in mid-1940. An initial allotment of 14,000 Bombards was issued, with 784 required by the Regs and TAs, and the idea was that 8 of these would be issued per brigade. An additional 528 would also be taken on by the anti-tank regiments of the regular and territorial army. A further 8,000 would go to the Home Guard, which you'd expect, and an additional 4,500 would go for airfield defence. It is worth pointing out at this point that in April 1940, airfield defence was almost exclusively the role of the regulars and TAs, with attached units from the RAF. An example of figures provided on the 13th of February 1942, at which point the Bombard was well into being issued across the UK, from 5 and 8 Corps and the South Midland District, shows the following. 206 Bombards had been issued to the 5 and 8 Corps as well as the South Midland District, and 394 had gone to the Home Guard. Further figures show the breakdown of this weapon allotment, with the 30th Berkshires, Kings and King's Own Yorkshire Light Infantry, hooray, of the regular and territorial army units of the South Midland District receiving 28 Bombards, and the rest, about 318, going to the Home Guard units within the area. As these numbers only cover Southern Command or part of Southern Command, it is currently unknown how many Bombards were issued to the other commands in the UK, but it is likely that similar numbers were issued to the regular and territorial army deployed in the UK on home defence, especially for coastal and nodal point defence. So today, although the Bombard is now linked inextricably to the Home Guard and also seen as crap for no reason, it is also as likely that surviving Bombard emplacements, such as this one in Thetford, that survive today would have been issued and used by the professional soldiers of the Home Forces, not just the Home Guard. Also, it's worth noting that it's worth not forgetting that the Bombard was also issued extensively to the RAF regiment, who took on airfield defence from the regulars and TAs in around 1942. So although the Bombard wasn't issued exclusively to the field force, that is the professionals of the regular and territorial army, etc., it was still issued and therefore needs to be remembered as an integral weapon system, not just of the Home Guard but also the Home Force in general, providing them with an important stopgap weapon while the 2-pounder anti-tank gun could be produced in greater numbers for the Regs and TAs. So thank you for watching and see you later.